Will Campbell's journey to the NFL didn't begin under bright lights or in front of sold-out crowds. It began in Monroe, Louisiana, a small southern town where hard work isn't optional, it's expected. Born in July of 2004, Campbell was raised in a working-class home that valued discipline, faith, and perseverance. His father worked in the oil field. His mother, a nurse, pulled long shifts at the local hospital. Together, they built a foundation of toughness and humility that Will would carry with him into every locker room he stepped into. From a young age, Campbell stood out, not just because he was bigger than the other kids, but because he was wired differently. Quiet, serious, focused. While others were content with being good, Will was obsessed with being great. Even as a middle schooler, his footwork was refined, his stance was polished, and his mindset was already shaped by the grit of the South. He enrolled at Neville High School, one of Louisiana's most respected football programs, and from the moment he stepped onto the field, it was clear. Will Campbell wasn't just another big body, he was something special. By his sophomore year, he was dominating the trenches on Friday nights, making a name for himself, not just in Louisiana, but across the entire Southeast. College scouts took notice early. The offers rolled in: Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas. But there was never much doubt. Will had his heart set on LSU. It wasn't just about football. It was about family, loyalty, and playing for the state that shaped him. He committed to the Tigers early, and once again, he didn't look back. At LSU, most freshman offensive linemen take time to develop, not Campbell. He was named the starting left tackle before his first college snap, a rare and telling move in the SEC, the toughest conference in college football. He lined up every Saturday across from some of the best pass rushers in the country. And he didn't just hold his own, he stood out. His freshman season was filled with dominant reps and quiet consistency. No penalties, no drama, just physical, fundamentally sound football. Coaches loved his work ethic. Teammates respected his no-nonsense attitude. And by the time his sophomore year rolled around, Campbell had already become the anchor of the Tigers' offensive line. By his junior year, Will Campbell was widely regarded as the best offensive lineman in the nation, a consensus All-American, a projected top 5 pick. NFL scouts praised his combination of size, technique, and intelligence. But more than that, they saw a demeanor rarely found in players his age. Will was the kind of guy who showed up early, stayed late, and didn't care about attention. He just wanted to dominate the man in front of him every single rep. Then came the 2025 NFL Draft. The New England Patriots, coming off a tough season and transitioning into a new era without Bill Belichick, held the 4th overall pick. Many believed they'd target a quarterback or a dynamic wide receiver. Instead, they went back to the basics. They drafted Will Campbell, a tone setter, a franchise piece, a protector. The reaction was mixed. Some fans wanted fireworks. What they got was a 6'6", 325-pound brick wall from Louisiana. But for the Patriots front office and coaching staff, the message was clear. This team is being rebuilt from the inside out. Campbell's first trip to Foxborough was exactly what you'd expect. Quiet, businesslike, focused. In interviews, he didn't speak in sound bites. He didn't make bold predictions. He thanked his family. He said he was ready to work. And then he went straight to the facility. Rookie minicamp arrived, and Will was all in. Coaches were immediately impressed. He was already communicating like a veteran, picking up the terminology, studying film with intent, and even in non-contact drills, his footwork, his hands, and his presence made it clear. This wasn't just a draft pick. This was a future leader. By the time OTAS began, Campbell was already being treated like a starter. Not officially, but functionally. He was lining up with the first team in walkthroughs, spending extra time with the offensive line coach, setting the tone during warm-ups. Veterans noticed, so did the media. One local reporter said Campbell carried himself like a 10-year vet, not a kid 2 months removed from a college campus. Still, Campbell kept his head down. No social media antics, No interviews unless asked. Just film, weight room, walkthroughs, repeat. When training camp officially opened, he was ready. Locked in, focused on learning, on getting better, on earning the trust of his coaches and teammates. And that's where the story stands now. Will Campbell has yet to play a down in the NFL. He hasn't suited up for a preseason game. He hasn't been tested under the bright lights of Sunday football. But for the New England Patriots, none of that matters. Yet, because in a sport where too many rookies chase fame before fundamentals, Campbell is doing it the old-fashioned way. He's building from the ground up. He's working like he's undrafted. He's studying like a backup. And he's preparing to take on the most important job on the field, protecting the quarterback's blind side, possibly for the next decade. From Monroe to Baton Rouge to Foxborough, Will Campbell hasn't skipped steps. He hasn't sought shortcuts. And as training camp rolls on, one thing is becoming clear to those watching closely. Will Campbell is exactly who the Patriots thought he was. A cornerstone, a tone setter, and maybe, just maybe, the future face of a new era in New England.